pointed my finger between the handle and the part where the door, you know, connects into the thing. I said they used a card most likely. He's like, okay. They said they're gonna. I asked that they help check the cameras and stuff, and they said they will. Ain't that nice? And then I called downstairs and told them I wanted to get those cameras checked and see who the hell was fucking with my stuff. The last time whenever I told them my wallet was missing, they didn't help me. I'm not gonna fucking ignore them this time. But I bought a door wedge and I put it under my door. You know? I bought one that if it gets pressurized, it'll play an alarm, you know? What I mean? Ricky, there? I can't hear you saying anything.
Yeah.
Where are you right now?
With buddy, he was building me a copter.
Oh, okay. Did all that silicone come in handy?
I didn't even look. I got on, and he picked me up and brought me to his base.
Okay. I guess I'll just farm some more silicone. I don't know. I was just having fun doing that, you know? Yep, I made I made almost 300. No, yeah, I have 300 silicone.
We're gonna need iron and stuff too.
Yeah, well, I was just doing what I thought was fun. I was also kind of tired. But I did some experimenting with the worms. I'm still not done though. I have a few more experiments to do. Because there's this worm that pops up sometimes on the other side of the mountain of me when I'm there. And I'm curious if he can actually get to me. You know? What I'm gonna do is, what I want to do is make a chest with all my stuff, and then test the waters, you know? I tried looking it up, but I didn't really see video. Well, I didn't really look that hard. I didn't see that many videos of people like actually like trying. Before harvest time. Oh, I misread the indicator. I don't know what the button is on the controller to bring up like the time cycle thing.
A T on the keyboard.
Well, yeah, I'm aware of that. I don't know what it is on the controller. That is right. Yeah, they don't seem to have a mind for it. Anyways, I found that if I go in really quickly with the sand bike into the flower thing, and then I turn around, so that all I have to do is go straight back the way I came, and I hop off, everything's steady. So if you can walk close to an area about the stuff, and then you can and then you just fire like once if you just chill out between fire, like, yeah, one of them may take notice and cause some noise and things will like rattle. But if you keep standing still and don't move, it'll kind of just go turn around, you know. Now you will eventually get chased, but you stick around for a while. Doing it that way usually. Which it will be if you're the only one in the area doing it. But it will leave, though. Apparently, they just swim away if nothing happens after a short time. So yeah, that's somewhat of what I've kind of felt out of. Is your friend about to go to bed, or is he just going to hang out with us today? Good. That was soon. See that video I sent you? I thought you might be. I don't know if you were interested or not, but it's there if you wanted to see, you know. So yeah, I don't really know any other way to check the time. I'm just gonna listen
To
to the
those fateful days before catastrophe came. It's part 1 of 5 Days at Carthage.
5 days of coffee.
The Imperial Scenarist Guild has been provided unfettered access to the sealed records and testimonies of those who survived the Carthage incident. The following dramatization represents the official truth, as judged and signed by the Imperial Chamber Court and Aulic Council.
So let us journey then to the burning sands of Arrakis, a desert planet in a far-flung corner of the known universe. The year is 10-1-94, and the war of assassins between House Atreides and their ancient enemy House Harkonnen is well underway. Our tale unfolds in the teeming industrial sprawl of Carthage, the seat of Harkonnen power on Arrakis. It's early morning in the Peon Quarter, as the workers ready themselves for a long day of toil in their Baron's name.
Come to tea, Devan. You'll be late again.
Only tea? Is there no more bread?
Oh, what bread remains I'm keeping for dinner. You've had your fill.
I told you before, Mother. I won't be home for dinner tonight, or anytime soon. We're on double shift until further notice. Oh, don't give me that look. You know I have no say in the matter. And they are cracking down on anyone who gives even the slightest trouble. Ufim's cousin disappeared. They say he was an agitator, but no one can say what he did.
Your father said this day would come, when peons would be no better than Morla.
That's crazy, Mother. We have the Peons Compact.
To hell with the compact. Do they expect you to work as a machine, never resting?
Mother, watch what you say. You know they listen. Please. Let's just say the words and have our tea.
The words. I can't. I'm too angry.
But, Mother, we happily say the words every morning.
Fine. We live by our Baron's leave. The roof above our heads belongs to him. He permits us to dwell in his domain, and in return, we pledge our eternal loyalty, obedience, and maximal effort, with an eye towards efficiency.
Long live the Baron. I'm sorry, Mother, but if you must blame someone, blame Zantara. His most recent attack destroyed our last phased ion refinery in the northern precinct. Fremen bastard.
Hey, your father had Fremen blood on his mother's side. It's a blessing he didn't live to see what happened to them.
I say good riddance. It's said they practiced cannibalism.
Don't be a fool, Ivan. Those are all Imperial lies. It's well known that the Ikwan bed will remove the blood of their dead to make water.
Mother.
Open your eyes, my son!
I wasn't going to tell you, but thanks to your Fremen hero, we're test firing a long-throw Cutter-ray auger today with an ungraded barrel.
That's dangerous.
Only if the phase differential is off by more than 0.0003.
Devan, you can't. I forbid it. Why are they making you do this?
Because, Mother, Zantara destroyed the last facility that made and tested precision las barrels.
No. No.
I've got to go.
Be careful, Devan. I feel something very bad is coming. Its shadow is already upon us.
Mason condenser is at full potential. Are we clear to start the firing cycle?
Iceland controls in the green, all mirrors 100% aligned. And still, my reservations remain.
Be sure to let the Baron know next time we have dinner. For now, let's get on with our job.
You had dinner with the Baron? No, Arek. He was being sarcastic. And I will say it again. Long throw cutaway over is It's a precision tool and requires equal precision in its maintenance. Never in my 97 years as a peon have I test-fired an ungraded barrel.
I met a neighbor.
Anything's different. We have no idea how
We
it's
have a
going to
friendly
react.
neighbor.
It is insanity, Davon.
No one here disagrees with you, Ufin. But we have written orders from the House Munitions Master.
Oh, you did that
co-signed
mission to get
by
that
Peter
high-powered
de
armor?
Vries. They need this laser auger
No,
online
nobody gave
yesterday.
it to me.
Because there is no risk to them.
It's one you can craft.
Let
just
Peter
the
de
native skill
Vries
too.
test-fire
Oh,
the
okay.
laser.
There's too many
Yeah, the
eyes
mission that I'm
to
talking about
mess
gives you a
this
full
up.
set, and it's got
All we
like
can do
300
is
armor,
trust in
300
our
and something armor
pre-fire
rating for
checklist
like just
and
one
hope
piece of
the
it.
new barrel materials meet spec. Let's go again. Spooling up Mason condensers. Mason condensers at full potential. Are we clear to start the firing cycle?
Hydrogen control is in the green.
I gotta go dump my
All
water in my
natives,
pockets.
100% alignment. Signal wave guide in range.
Arek, how is the mesh?
Phased ion is in the mesh. Optical pump is engaged and the coils are hot.
Okay then, let's take it slow. Engaging throttle. Shut it down!
What's
Shut it down!
lubricant we used for again? I
Arek!
forgot.
Venting big tanks!
Wind turbines.
Submerging coils in 3, 2, coil submerge!
What have we done?
Deposit water.
Arek!
Build invite, huh? Is that you?
It's to go with it. Nobody's in. They're inviting us to.
Dark Child.
Ah, Devon,
That's the right one, right?
have some food.
Yep.
Pocket.
Do you hear me? Devon. Devon? What is it?
Arek is dead.
What?
He's dead. They took him away. I saw him die.
What happened?
The laser auger went out of phase. The beam splitter vaporized almost instantly. The whole charge vented onto Arek. He was literally cooked alive. I'll never forget the smell. And the screaming.
Oh, he suffered.
Badly.
I was grabbing
think-
some iron too. This iron's been respawning pretty
And
quickly
you
for
are
me.
just home now.
Like whenever I run in and run back
How
out,
could
it's
you
already
work
back.
after this? Did they not shut down the shop?
No. They
It's
just
probably 'cause
moved
there's,
us
like,
back to
nobody in
munitions repair. We finished our shifts.
Like in the immediate vicinity, maybe.
Oh, what is that now?
August Spear! Droba, what's happening? It's August Spear. He's coming! The Gladiator? What do you mean?
Lord Ravan just announced it. A festival with music, food, and August Spear is going to fight! For the first time in 7 years! Right here on Arrakis! Oh, I've got to go. Hey, wait for me!
Did you hear that, Mother? The Gladiator, Argus Vir, is coming to Carthage, all the way from Grumman.
Bread and circuses.
Imagine it. Right here in Carthage, the greatest gladiator in the known universe.
Ah, and what about your friend?
Which friend?
The dead boy, Arik.
Oh, yes. Poor Arek.
Yes, poor Arik.
He would have loved to see Argus Vir.
Q, did you have the Kirab skill suit?
No, I didn't build it.
Okay, I got my old one.
Okay. Uh-oh. Better get sucking on some plants.
That still suit got some water in it.
There we go. I made like a bunch. I made 10 units of lubricant, and I started on some more silicone.
We need material. That's like extra stuff, like not needed all at once.
Well, we could sell it.
Hey, your other still suits in this box by the stairs.
Okay, we gotta dump this stuff. Right, I forgot I put blood in this. Bring that. Did I put blood in this too?
I did.
Okay, I was gonna say. Maybe you did, but I remember putting blood in things, so I don't know how many. I just click and run away. Alright, you talking about the one downstairs, the large one?
The one right at the right next to the stairs.
Got it. This one's a straight up upgrade.
Yeah, everything should be good. The gloves are the native still suit gloves. I have other gloves on.
I come with ore.
Need one complex machinery though.
Well, we can go back on that video I sent you. He talked about good ways to get complex machinery. We could, like that number 2 testing site we were at. That's a repeat. You can get it repeatedly there from multiple devices down there, so it's a good spot. And other like ironwork outpost places apparently. Where's my bag? What are they? Oh, I left it outside.
You're listening to Harvester Radio, home of the Daily Motivational, with Master Inspirator, Toby himself.
Come up on the top.
Your Master Inspirator with the Daily Motivational. Today we must work hard in silence and let productivity be our crime.
Shit.
Ah! Ah! You hit the wrong button and jumped out by accident.
No, I quickly glided.
Oh. From my screen, I heard, and then the thing just dropped out from underneath me, and then you just kind of left. Hold on, I gotta heal.
When I completed the trial, the last trial, it worked.
Which trial?
The spice dipping.
You mean trial number 2?
Yeah.
We did that at the same time, so I don't know.
Yeah, don't go so far back.
Oh shit.
Not up nose, like right there.
Yeah, it's a visible wall right there. Ah, you gotta be kidding me. I think that was my fault. I think. I want to set my controller down, and I think I actually hit the alt key. I think that was my fault.
I'm trying to be very gentle with controls and not fly too high so you don't die.
The mystery deepens aboard the Sand Titan as Crew Chief Jarrett Thorne's death remains unsolved and the flies begin to circle. It's Death on the Titan, Episode 3, The Visitor.
We need to talk about where you were, Jeb, the night Crew Chief Thorne died.
I don't remember exactly. I might have stepped out for some air. I just needed a break. Work gets stressful, you know.
You were running dark that night, but the weather hooks were engaged on pad 1. Why do you think that is?
I don't
I'm
know.
going to avoid touching any buttons. I want to avoid any
What do we
typing.
know about weather
Prevent any
hooks?
accidental
They're
key.
used to secure ornithopters in bad weather.
But isn't it true that weather hooks can only be engaged from the cockpit of a thopter?
I think there's a
I
little
don't know.
space
I'm a calm guy.
Do you
She didn't
recall
say you used
seeing
masks.
one on a thopter?
No,
I don't
I don't
think
recall
any
seeing a
masks for
thopter or
small.
anything.
It's close enough to the rocks and can run.
The thopter's hard to miss even in a storm, especially if it engaged the weather hooks.
Well, I honestly can't recall anything like that. Maybe the
Hop
hooks
off the
malfunctioned.
together.
I'm sure it's happened. Everything else malfunctioned before long on this tub.
Of course, we could find no evidence of any unscheduled thopter landing on the Titan. But maybe
Monitoring worm signs. Good so far.
maybe someone knows exactly who landed on the flight deck that night.
I told you already. I don't know anything. Am I free to go?
With Jeb's memory failing to provide any clarity, I turned my attention to ship supervisor Lena Orlov. Several things she let slip hinted at a closer relationship with Chief Thorne. There had to be more to their connection than she was letting on.
There was nothing going on between us.
It's
We were
close.
just going.
Tessa mentioned that you and
I don't have
Thorne
a
had
sign
a
for my
close
marker.
relationship.
See the sand kicking up over there?
There was nothing romantic.
Oh wait, now it's coming after me.
She lied
Alright, you get
about
out of here.
something like that.
Maybe she's trying to deflect suspicion from herself.
Okay,
You know what?
then we just wait for him
That's
to leave.
exactly what I thought too.
Get this
But
mirror
then
green. Unless
she played me
Just
this.
go after a complex machine. got some.
moments together.
That's fine.
Oh, shit.
Me too, Derek. I don't think I could survive another day in this barren wasteland without you. But a bitch. Who goes around recording the conversations of their crewmates?
She was keeping tabs on Thorn, documenting his lack of leadership skills.
Oh, she wouldn't shut up about that. I should have just transferred her to another rotation.
Tell me about you and Thorn.
All right. We were involved. But we were happy. Had no reason to harm him.
If you had nothing to hide, why keep it a secret?
Because it's personal. It had nothing to do with his death.
Did anyone else know about your relationship?
No, he kept it private. It was nobody's business. Tessa has always had it out for Thorn. She's just trying to stir up trouble.
Tell me about Jeb.
You can use your vehicle storage.
His alibi is
Yeah.
weak.
Yeah, let's just find some
As
rocks.
is his assertion
Yeah, right here
that
will
he
do.
received Thorn's secret messages, but had no interest or capacity to decode them.
He had the capacity, if he wanted to. We both had the same signals training.
Does that mean you could decode the message too?
Yes, I could.
Then tell me,
Okay, I'm sheltered right here.
what did the secret
Sorry,
messages
suck up these flowers
say?
before it gets here.
Did you switch
Stay
your armor?
tuned for our
Yeah.
next exciting
Did you use the
episode,
water out of it?
where secrets unravel and the truth
Just-
comes
I mean, I
to
filled up
light
for
on
one, so
Death on
I drink
the
that before we left.
Titan.
but I did get heat stroke like 2 or 3 times. Especially after the unfortunate slips. I went through all my bandages. Well, almost. I have 7 left. I'm listening to the radio. They have like this detective story thing going on. Oh, this counts as enclosed right here. Interesting. I also noticed, remember how that ship crashed near where we have our base?
Yeah.
It happened 2 more times while you were gone, or maybe it was just 1. It happened again, in the same exact spot. So,
Interesting.
yeah, we can check that out sometime. They play music too, but you know, there's a lot of like hella radio dramas and stuff. And it's lore like specific too, because they'll talk about like there's this one called Death on the Titan, and like this officer died, and this guy's like investigating it, and it's like a spice freighter or some shit. Or,
The storm was going through the lower area, not this area.
This is your master inspirator with the daily motivational. Today we must remember difficult doesn't mean impossible. It simply means
And,
we must work
I heard you.
harder.
I'm coming. And in these teledramas, they have like in-game lore stuff because they're like, oh, the ornithopters weren't blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Death on the Titan, and it's like some sort of like space thing. You know, it's not space, it's spice thingy. I think it's a spice harvester thing with a crew. Oh yeah, sucky suck. I was using that knife too, cause like you could hit somebody so many times with a knife, you'll get like 1,000 just from the knife itself, and you can get 2,000 from this Mark II. You can fill up a bag for every individual person, give or take. Ooh, money. But yeah, all the silicone, we could just take it and sell it to NPCs and stuff, can't we? Take it to the trader. Excuse me. But yeah, our neighbor was pretty nice. I was waiting to harvest some of the flowers, and he's like, hola, and I said no hablo. He said, me either. We laughed. Then we talked a little bit, and I said, now we're contractually obligated to be friends now. He said, yeah, with the white man, which I respect that. I do that sometimes. I was planning on making spaghetti today, but sort. Man, it's a good thing I was here to help. What would you have done without me? Sorry, when you ran off, I was collecting water, so I was late. Alright, I'm filled up on water. See, I made 3 DiGiorno bottles. Whatever they're called. I made 2 liter Johns. Liter DiGiornos. But yeah, I tried using the suspension belt to slow my fall, but it wasn't enough. I still got fucked up. I had to revive myself. You know, that little trapeze thing from the paleontologist is coming in handy a lot recently.
Oh, yeah, because you don't have fall.
A what?
Did you fall?
I'm okay. I caught a rock. Yeah, my stamina drained. I'm not at maximum peak hydration. Are you below me? Oh, you're still climbing. Oh, no! Ah! Okay. But yeah, that's what that floaty thing came from. It's just one of the skills of the paleontologist you get to start with. I just slapped it.
This is
Oh,
your
I see it.
master inspirator with the daily
I see the scan
motivational.
lines.
Today we must remember, no matter how hard we work, someone else is working harder.
Did you bring a probe, or is it probing for you too?
It's I'm getting the blue scan lines showing up on my screen, so maybe I'll check my map. It did not probe for me. I do have the launcher. I do not have the probe. Oh, thank you. I must equip it. Look at that floaty thingy. The Maleficent prism. Okay, I got it. Ouch. Anyways, if you want complex machinery, going to outposts, fireworks outposts, and that number 2 testing site's a really good one because they have multiple machinery with multiple, one or more each. Testing number 2, the one that we went to. We could just go. It's
The
repeatable.
Combined Hunted Communinet Theater presents
So
an
we can farm
Arakin
that for a
Playhouse
couple
production
extras.
of 5 Days at Carthage. Brought to you by the generous patronage of the Padishah Emperor and the tireless support of the Spice Miners Fellowship and Leisure Committee. And now, it's time to dim the lights and return with us to those fateful days before catastrophe came calling. It's part 3 of 5 Days at Carthage.
I'm fucked.
The Imperial Scenarist Guild has been provided unfettered access to the sealed records and testimonies of those who survived the Carthage incident. The following dramatization represents the official truth, as judged and signed by the Imperial Chamber Court and Aulic Council.
So let us journey then to the burning sands of
Just
Arrakis,
ignoring you. What an asshole.
as a planet in a far-flung corner of the known universe. And their ancient enemy, House Harkonnen, is well underway. We join our story alongside a capacity crowd at the Great Carthage Amphitheater.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I have a shield.
As the Battle of Windsec is reenacted for the enthusiastic crowd, anticipation continues to build for the main event. The history-making return of the legendary gladiator, Argus Fear.
I don't remember this one. Which one's this? We haven't been here before, have we?
No.
Do you hear them, Argus? All
what's
of
the deal
that
with
for
that?
you.
Do not overfill my ears with honey, old dog. I hear the crowd well enough. I also hear the sound
deal with
and
this
fury
place?
of Laskan fire.
Guess we'll find out.
The Battle of Windsec, I believe. You know how the Harkonnen love their reenactments.
Bah! Never heard of any bloody Winsack.
A local engagement of some import. The exact details elude me, but I gather it didn't end well for the Harkonnens.
Why celebrate it then?
I'm told there is some disagreement on the specifics of how the battle concluded, and who, in fact, was responsible for the rather costly destruction of a Spice Guild facility situated there.
The Harkonnens, no doubt.
I believe the Baron would claim otherwise.
He would. Where is my gap? The skin on my legs feel as if it's both swelling and shrinking. Where's my
sometimes it
damn
gets glitchy.
spice? That Harkonnen bootlick should be here by now.
Just
There he is.
remember, with the knives,
Control
you
yourself,
hold it, it's a
August.
heavy attack,
And
and
do
it's a slow
keep in
attack.
mind we are
know.
here
It's
as
the
their
slow blade
sufferers.
versus the
Now,
shield.
enough of your
I
prattling
know, Norton.
speech. You're beginning to sound like my sixth wife.
What do you think I was
Damn
doing
eyes.
in that position? You think I
Oh,
was trying to
hello.
go for the kill, or was I
You're not
supporting you?
Vistari?
No, Vastari
I
had
was
to
keeping him
attend
locked
a
in place so
pressing
you can
matter.
get him.
I am here in his stead. What could be more pressing than my bloody spice?
Because
My
it's
legs
almost a
feel
guaranteed
as if they're
stagger,
about to
even if it
burst
doesn't work,
and
or
shower
if
the
it
room
glitches
with
out, it'll still
gore.
stagger them for
I
a
have your
short time.
spice. As requested, a 7% solution of melange, elaka oil, and
Sometimes I have it perfect, and
Did
it
you
just
mix it
they're
yourself?
slightly offset for me on the ground, and it just won't count.
Give it here!
So no worries. The timing gets kind of weird though, because sometimes they look like they're
Go
staggered,
easy
but
on
then it
the
still won't
lad.
do it, and then it'll stagger
I'm
again.
in no rush to be anywhere, and
I just didn't want you to waste your breath on worrying about me.
day.
I'm still not quite used to some of the timing though.
He'll sleep for a while now. The battle is still
You know what I
hours
mean?
away.
So I appreciate you
I
trying
know
to
it looks bad.
tell me. I
We're
just
mostly
got worried
retired
about
these
you.
days, but when the Baron calls, Argus can
You know,
never
I got worried
refuse.
about you.
I'm afraid his vanity wouldn't allow it.
I grew up listening to Argus
I
Fear
didn't
on the
want you to have to worry
Communinet.
or anything too much.
My father said he was the greatest gladiator in the known universe.
Unfortunately, maintaining a reputation as the greatest gladiator in the known universe comes at heavy cost. By now, Argus has had every major organ slashed, crushed, or punctured.
Well, I got the other
Every
pack
bone
installed this
broken
time, so
multiple times.
I got the stronger one with power
Rebuilt, replaced, or
that I
regrown
found
completely over the years.
on the
But
ground a
many
while back.
Snorlax will no
So
longer
if I fall
guarantee
this
their
time,
work.
I won't take me.
They say he shouldn't even be alive.
I had no idea.
No one does. As I said before, his vanity would never allow it.
I was using a weaker one.
The chronic pain he endures on a daily basis would drive most men to self-annihilation. But Argus Fear will never willingly die. His vanity would never allow it.
And with that, the Battle of Winsack is litigated once again. The crowd making plain their love for the Baron's men, in spite of the long shadow cast by the outcome of that very battle.
Everyone knows the Atreides were responsible for Winsack. That much has never been done. House Harkonnen was punished because your thick-headed cousin Glossu destroyed the moonfish industry on Caladan.
I've heard that before, and it's ridiculous. What could fish halfway across the universe possibly have to do with Winsack?
Let me ask you this, dear. Who spearheaded the Imperial investigation into the destruction at Winsack?
Your boss, Hasamir Fenring. Everyone knows this.
Oh, I wonder if that's the same Hasamir Fenring that was heavily invested in the moonfish industry. I hear that Fenring lost over a third of his fortune when the industry collapsed. Can you imagine?
The bastard.
Who? Fenring or your lunk-headed cousin?
The Count bleeds our house dry with massive debt for a facility we didn't even destroy.
You know I love you and your whole eccentric family, dearest. But if someone deliberately reduced our holdings by a third...
I would skin them alive, of course.
Spoken like a true Harkonnen. Would you deny Count Fenring the same accommodation? As much as the Baron bemoans it, I doubt House Harkonnen is substantively injured in anything other than pride. But enough of this. Are the girls ready? The streets are filled with revelers, and I'm not going to be late again. It erodes my authority. Represented.
Girls! What?
How dare you address your mother that way? As if you were speaking to common Mara. Try again.
Yes, Mother? You all look so lovely. It's a shame Feyd-Rautha won't be there to see you. What? What do you mean he won't be there? I heard over the steward comms. It seems Feyd and some of the cousins were readying to attend the arena when a contest of boasting broke out. Of course, it wasn't long before an impromptu hunting party formed, and the group found themselves on a highliner bound for Rosek. Rosek? I'm not going. Me neither.
You're dressed, you're going. Consider it your sole familial obligation. I had those dresses brought in from Chusik at great expense. You will be seen in them.
Not by Feyd-Rautha. And he's the only one we care about. Feyd is the premier get as far as eligible bachelors are concerned, darling.
Who puts that nonsense in their heads, hmm?
It's true. Ever since the Atreides girl humiliated him at Arsent, Feyd has been actively receiving suitors.
Whores, you mean? Oh, you're fooling yourselves, girls. All of you. You haven't the slightest chance with Feyd-Rautha. No. His mate
Another
will be
altar
selected
destroyed
for
by the
political
Emperor's
advantage
zealous
above all,
dogs.
and we offer none.
So much wasted in the pursuit of this
I know you
pogrom.
think me cruel,
So much
but it's the
lost.
truth.
This altar seemed to depict Fremen being separated
Saved
from their
by a knock at
families.
the door.
Enslaved?
Grim
I could
tidings,
only
High
decipher a
Prefect.
few
Girls,
words.
out.
Slave cribs.
You stay,
Hodge. And oddly enough, the
Davros,
name of a planet.
Report.
Bella
We're
Tigise.
getting calls from all wards, sir. Somehow, a sizable supply of alcohol has made it through the security zone and is being distributed throughout the city.
Throughout the city?
Drunken debauchery reported in all wards, sir. We're shutting down pores as fast as we can, but we can't keep up.
I told them this would happen. You can't drive the workers harder and harder and take away their outlets at the same time. The pressure can only build so much before it explodes.
So what do we do, sir?
What do? We do nothing. Perhaps the alcohol is a gift. Perhaps the crowds will have a riotous good time and wear themselves out before we see any proper unrest. What is your read on the crowd's temper, Davros?
Happy, sir. Excited for the most part. Excited for Argus Veer.
If there's one clever move Lord Raban has made in recent memory, darling, it's delivering the great gladiator. I thought the old hedgehog was retired.
He is, but Glossu had nothing to do with it. Argus Veer is here at the Baron's request.
Well, it doesn't matter who brought him. What matters is that he's here. I shudder to think about how the crowd might respond were they denied their spectacle.
Well, we'll all be denied, sir, if we don't get going. Your ground car awaits.
Vastari! What happened to Valentin?
Oh, I know I'm late with your spice, but it's been insane up top. The crowd's worked up as I have never seen.
Oh my. Argus.
Yeah, well, better wake him already. He's up next.
I think that might be a problem.
I do. Get a bucket of water or something.
We're going to need more than a bucket of water, I'm afraid. Argus Veer is dead.
You're tuned to Harvester Radio. Two-man source for bulletins, weather, and matters of import to the
So
Spice
I've noticed that
Miners Guild.
the shield is made with spice infused like ingots and stuff. Is that why they're drawn to it, or is it actually just a vibration?
Probably a whole set of ocean.
I'll read all that. Besides, it's more interesting to hear you talk about it. That's fine. It's gonna be a while before I read a book again. What are we doing up here? Salvaging?
That's the next trial.
Oh. Well, I need to hide in this cubby for a second.
There is a pretty little box right here. Well, we're just gonna go down in this hole. And it's shaded.
Do we get anything useful from this salvage?
Maybe, I don't know. We can get it on our way out. We're gonna go back up. Check it out.
Well, oh shit. I'm about to die. Ooh, way too high. found a chest. I'm above you. There's some stairs over here that comes up to it.
Probably already got it.
It wasn't open when I got here, so...
Yeah, I'll get on the way out.
Yeah. It'll be open for you now as I grabbed it.
It's the Grabbin' Gang, presented by the Imperial Scenarist Guild and Linder and Gold Coffee. Wake up with Linder and Gold. We put the spice in it for you.
The Grabbin' Gang was recorded before a live studio audience.
Another day.
You still want metal machinery, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to keep my inventory clear for it.
How do we honor the Creator? Ibn Qurtayba. Our enemies are as blades of grass mown down. Our God gave us the gift of time and the words of the Kitam Alibar. Knowledge without action is empty. Be like it was a place devoid of gods, where the drums of war, conflict, and violence were illegal. They denied us the heart, never to forgive, never to forget. The fire of God set alight, thine enemies shall fall.
Hey, Nordic, when you get to the arena, don't fight them. You're supposed to lose. Just let them kill you, and you'll win. You hear me?
I've done it before.
I haven't. I just figured it out on the spot. Take us even
How do we
higher.
honor the Creator? We fight. Remember Salusa Secundus. Be la Kaifa.
I'm about to say not this fucking stupid ass philosophical who thinks bullshit again. And thankfully I was like, okay.
Ibn Kirtaiba.
Thankfully
The fire of God set alight. How do we honor the Creator?
I'm exaggerating how I feel about it. I'm just like, whatever.
We fight.
Now we can eat and drink things to restore the little purple bar after you're out of there.
Yep.
And I believe we now have blue eyes also.
We could finally. Oh my goodness, we did a mind trial so we can learn how to consume. That's hilarious. I didn't order.
That's one thing I don't like. Like they're doing it this way in like the book. You drink the water of life, which is water that's been milked from worms.
I saw some YouTubers that are like into the Dune series say that they mix some things from the book and the movies. That might be why. I don't really know. I'm just having fun speculating. Spice withdrawal. Well, I don't really plan on relying on that phone. Now the leap kick thing will come in handy running across the desert. So you can combine that with your seatbelt thing. You can lunge yourself. Well, not specifically that, but any movement skill or anything that runs you. Combine that with the leap belt, and it seems to be really fun. But yeah, when you're ready to go do that armor thing, let me know. But for now, I think we should continue whatever it is we're doing right now, which I'm assuming is the metal frames, but I don't know. See if I can salvage it. get anything good from it?
That wing flip in the air, I thought it was you flying up in the air.
Woo! Free bird! Check me out, Norik. Do I look cool before my demise? Be darn tootin' I went flipping up there.
Could you stop? Keep trying to place the thing every time I put a place in front of it.
I was just running around randomly. Hold on. Before you take off, I want to test something. Okay, now lift up. Are you not able to take off? I thought so. I didn't think it'd be that easy. But it definitely sticks to it, though. It'll stick to it, and then I could, like, detonate it whenever you get near an enemy, you know?
Okay, make side mode, you haven't fallen off.
Nice. If I did fall off, I'm prepared to counter it. I equipped the better floater boat. So, it should be... Well, assuming nothing else happens, it should be fine. Hey, I got another skill slot. Look at that. We're back already. We're gonna unload our inventory already. No hands. I'm tall. It's okay, Nordic. Some of us need more practice, like me. I always need more practice. Oh yeah, that's right. I got a bunch of spice. I got 148 of it.
Yeah, you can't do anything with it yet, though.
Yeah. Good. Old Sparky Mark II.
It's pretty good.
I got 18 actuators. Reduced. A slightly reduced power pool, but it recharges more quickly. Sounds good to me. Ow, my eyes. Research schematic. Hell yeah. Is it one of those freebie ones? No.
Purple, yes.
No, the old Sparky Mark II is not a freebie one. I have to, it takes iron, particle, capacitors, and spice infused iron. Should I get it? Okay. I'm gonna go collect some. Do we need lubricant for anything?
No, not right now.
Okay. Then I'll just drink from this then. There you go. Do we put down more blood purifiers?
That's what we need the complex machinery for. Okay. So that you have that worm.
We need it for an ornithopter
thing?
too.
You know, you have the worm tooth. One worm tooth and one plant fiber gets you the unfixed Christ knife, and then you just got the unlock for that from that mine thing. Damage per hit is 191.6. Attack speed 139. So it's like one of the better daggers, but try not to lose it. Oh, cannot leave the owner's person, so you always have it.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me deposit the tooth. Oh.
Yeah. So if you make the knife, then you'll have it.
Okay. Is it okay for you if I make Scipio's blood bag? It's a high capacity blood bag.
And is it more high capacity than the medium blood bags we already have?
It has 13,000. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the purple. I forgot where I found it. I think I found it in one of those whenever we were spelunking. However, the trade-off is that it costs some spice-infused iron and some sandwich fabric, so...
That's fine.
But we don't have a lot of spice iron.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, you can do that. Okay, that's good to know.
The other cutter A is Mark II cutter A is for you.
Thank you, sir. I'm grateful. But yeah, that's pretty much all I did when you got off. I didn't even know you got off. I was like, hello? You just kind of vanished. And I was like, oh well, I'm gonna run around and just do random stuff. And then I brought up the thing. I started a big picture mode for Steam. And then I hit the button to bring it up.
And 2 of the survey things are for you.
Okay. 2 of them?
Yeah.
1. Okay, there we go. 2. Sir. Oh, my back. My back. Health kit. Oh yeah, I found a health kit Mark II in one of those random boxes.
Yeah, we can make them, or I can make them.
Yeah. I'm gonna deposit it though in these chests. Maybe I should hold on to it. I don't know. Guess I'm ready to go.
Did we ever build a repair station? I thought we built a repair station. Yeah, yeah.
We did, yeah. I'm a nerd. I did replace some of my stuff that was unrepairable for the most part, and I recycled them. I recycled some other stuff I wasn't using. I lost track of it. Falsified communication log. Meant to incriminate someone. Okay. Hammer bimmer. Ah, crap. I knew I'd forget something. I forgot to grab some extra water before I left. Oh well. I'm not trying to rush you or anything, but kind of cooking the life here. Much better. Like Nordic.
I'm not inside. I'm not inside.
Oh wait, did you fall? Oh no, I you got me sitting there. Yeah, I'm not protected by the vehicle like you are. While we were getting sunburned. I lost like 2 whole wet water bars. Do shields are protect against the sun, I wonder? I doubt it. The sun is a deadly laser after all. What are we looking for, sir? Are you looking for a secret passage? Oh, I see what you're looking for. Another spice cave. Might be down there in that hole below us. Oh, never mind. Below us now. It was above us. It's in this rock somewhere. Okay, so it does work like how I was thinking the arrow went up or down, but then it like when I tried to test that theory out, it didn't like react. Maybe it was a glitch. Oh, I see what you're doing. We're doing some of these. Okay, cool. Be careful! Don't be too loud! There might be bad guys. Forget bad guys. I need a flashlight. Oh, there's a box over here, Nordic. It's glowing green and stuff. Ooh, it's got a knife. It's got some carbon in it, and anthrite. And there's a calibrated servoc. You might want to come over here, Nordic. You've already smelt it.
I've already inhaled.
Nordic, no! He's already gone. Well, just get on your way out. It's hard to miss. It's like glowing and everything. Like it's more so than a normal chest. Huh?
Well, I said I obviously missed it on the way down.
Yeah, it was right before you hit the stairs to where the spice thing was. It was right there on the right, kind of like tucked into the corner, where if you didn't look, you wouldn't see it. Yeah, it was like, so like as the cave went into the narrow, it expanded, and it was right around the corner of where it expanded, so you wouldn't see it unless you were looking. I did. I had a feel. I was like, anyway, yeah. I double checked and. But yeah, it's hard to miss. It produces a little bit of light because it's like a glowy green chest. It's not like a normal one. And I got like a sword and some other stuff.
Who is the creator?
Oh boy. Here we go again.
Who is the creator? Our God gave us the gift of thought. Shai Halud cleanses Arrakis.
Here we go, brother. Here we go again.
The soft sand where we pitch
ask
need
you
to
things.
all the stuff. All
Oh,
the
that's
stuff she
quicksand.
talks about. All the stuff she talks about. You're gonna need to remember from the final trial.
I don't remember any of that shit. I'm gonna look it up. Like, she keeps asking me who's the creator, and I'm like, that's the 6th time you've asked me. I'm done listening. I've just been running through them. There's a couple of new things that they say. I'm not saying they're always the same, but that's good to know. But I'm not gonna remember. I don't even know what half these words even mean. Poritrin? Ruben Kintaline or something? I don't feel confident that I'll remember any of this. I'm sorry, Nordic. I hope you'll forgive me. I don't mean that in a dismissive bad way. I'm just, you know. I get it.
The world is a carcass. Who can turn away the angel of death? Our footsteps are as the drums of the slavers, calling Shai Halud upon our enemies.
Men must learn to live with their gods. Who can deny a friend the right to walk or
That's a
ride
thumper,
where
isn't
he
it?
wills?
I've heard about those. Using the lure worms away from where you're doing operations. Right?
Yeah.
What's the point of them, though? Are they actually like useful or something? As I was saying, as far as like introduction to new item technology, it's not that bad.
Who is the
Not a bad way to
creator?
introduce them.
The
Well,
maker.
bad way
May his
in a
passing
vacuum.
Ibn Kirtaiba. Who is the creator?
Hey, Roller.
Hello.
The maker.
When you make your character, it gives you the option to do unlocked or unlocked tech tree. I've watched YouTubers do locked, and I've tried unlocked, and it's the same. I don't see any real differences. It's always locked. At least it was for me. How's the weather over there in Spanieto?
If you're talking to me, as I'm not in Spain, I'm assuming that's what you're referring to. I have no clue.
Yeah, I was just yeah, that's all I could hear. Come on, you know you want to join Spain.
Why would I want to join Spain? I can't speak Spanish.
Si habla español?
I don't know what no is.
No is no. I don't know much Spanish, but I know that no is no.
It could be. I know that C is yes, but I don't know anything else.
I lived with a Dominican family for 3 years. So if you're like, I don't speak Spanish, you say no habla español.
Ah. No, I can barely handle English some days. I certainly am not multilingual.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
I don't know. Is it 9? I know it's 9 for German.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was speaking was German.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
asking if you speak German.
It sounded Dutch, but they're very similar.
Yeah, it's because Deutsch, it's like derivatives of each other. But yeah, Deutschland, you know, Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was asking if you spoke German.
Ich bin ein Berliner?
No idea.
Could we translate it?
Oh, I found another box. Oh wait, it's the same one. I got
We
turned
translate it
around.
2 ways. The what was supposed to be said was I am of Berlin, but when John F. Kennedy said it, he said I am a jelly donut.
Ah.
The man tried though. I don't know. It's
He
interesting.
said it, and he said it on TV.
I know he probably did, because that's why you know about it.
Almost,
He probably went to the Berlin. It was probably about the Berlin Wall and stuff, wasn't it?
I don't know. He was visiting Berlin at the time.
Yeah. I figured. Figured he's either visiting or discussing. It's loud. Is that combat music? What am I hearing? Is it me? Oh no, there's a sand cloud. No, it's actually in the game. I was getting confused. There's a storm cloud over there, Nordic. I think it's coming somewhere. You know how some games have like music depending on certain things that are happening?
Yep.
This is one of those, kind of. Not as much as others, or as in depth as some others. But it is a very simple form of it, where like, oh no, a sandstorm's coming. We're gonna play a certain set of tracks randomly, you know, to drive up the tension of you need to hide or you're gonna be fodder, you know.
Yep. Yep. Those
Yeah.
games do that with something like combat music, and that's kind of something that's Doom related. That means it works with combat.
Yeah, and this one, it has it for combat and hazards. So, like, if a sandstorm's coming, it's going to play, if a sandworm's going to be chasing aggroing to chase you, or, like, if you're in an area and an agworm, a worm is, like, kind of nearby a little bit, it'll start, like, driving up some tension, you know? Like I said, it's not as in-depth as several games, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm glad to see things like that.
I was in the area below us.
Who's in the area below us, sir?
Oh, sandstorm was in the area.
I thought you were saying something kind of like that, but I misinterpreted it as directly below us. What's happening? Ooh, blue lights. That's different. Sir, I don't think the power's supposed to go off.
Vulture mode, the glide mode is the wing stop mode.
I know, I was joking. So your friend taught you how to do it, or you just wing it? No pun intended. The reason I said no pun intended earlier is because he's flying a vehicle that kind of flies.
Flying a vehicle that kind of flies.
Exactly.
Oh.
It's like a weird grasshopper.
Ornithopter.
So, what? How do you fly something that kind of flies?
Because it's not like a conventional flying machine. It's like a bug.
Dragonfly.
Yeah, like it has wings, but they're shaped like helicopter blades. It can VTOL, it can fly, and then it can also be a glider. So it's kind of like,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Sorry, Nordic. I didn't mean to mess you up. The gravitational launcher thingy is pretty interesting. Seth was on Elite for a minute when I got on, but then he got off.
No, that's not gonna work. I'm all the way back down.
Okay.
I think we have to come back here later, anyways. Come back down.
But I'm almost at the top.
Okay.
Can I at least just see what's up here? I'm almost here. Like, I'm right here. It's just a E-bug enemy dummy KO. What?
You don't have a vehicle battery on you, do you?
I have a fuel cell, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
No, not the small, tiny one, like the block, cubey looking one.
There's a chest up here. I got experience for finding it, and it said dummy. It sounded like a test item. It sounds like a test area, the way they worded it. Filter extractor Mark III, some money, some beer, an artisan disruptor. I don't even know what that means, but that was cool.
FK for a few minutes.
Okay. Well, I'm up here. Gonna use a probe.
That's what I was going up there for, but I'll do it later.
Alright.
I ran into fuel, or I would have just flown all the way up.
You can fly up here.
I don't have fuel enough to get up there because as soon as you go over a certain
Alright, you
altitude, it uses a bunch.
Alright. That sucks. Alright, Geronimo. There you are. I made it. I got it, gimme. Where'd my fuel containers go? I had like 2 of them on me. So about that, Nordic, that thing I told you, nope, it's a negative. Sorry. Does it use a small or a medium?
Either one.
Yeah, I had 2 small ones on me because I was using the sandbite, but they're gone. It's like deleted.
Did you put the pause in maybe?
Well, I did that with the horse and stuff, and I always bring the keyboards. Oh boy. Hey, forget something? Alright, I'll descend off the mountain, okay? Go and land, I'll jump down there. I'm assuming you're too high for fuel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got this Elastabelt called Extendocock. Thankfully, this Mark II power pack charges fast enough for me to just power it on and off.
on foot.
Well, I brought a sand bike with me.
But you only have the one-person sand bike, so.
Well, I was carrying a backseat with me for a while, but it kind of got destroyed in my inventory, so, you know, just in case something like this came up.
This place might have some, but it's gonna be hard.
Alright, let's check the area. We could probably get a fuel cell nearby.
Where are you? Come on.
I'm checking the map for traders. Wait till he shoots. He has to drop the shield on.
We've got it coming.
Yeah, my dodge pad decided it wanted to not work. We were both spam stabbing him, roller.
Okay.
That's funny.
I'm not entirely sure what lamb stabbing is.
Spam stabbing. We both were one of us on either side of him, just stab.
Yeah, he was a tanky enemy with like a minigun thing, and he was trying to shoot us, and he got confused because we were between him, and we kept staggering him between the two of us, point blank, with our knives.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, there's another one. Hold on, don't gauge him. I need to add another skill. I know exactly what we need. Oh, shit. You see what I'm doing, Nordic? I caught down so roller. I have this ability. One of my skills is that I can drop a shield that's impenetrable to gunfire. So when I duck behind the shield, the AI is like, oh, I can't shoot him, so he's not a target. He goes to shoot at Nordic, I poke my head up, and since I'm so close to him, he prioritizes me with a knife out as well. And so he turns to shoot me, and then I duck, and then he goes back to look at Nordic. And I just duck.
We're playing whack-a-mole, but we were the moles.
Nice.
Yeah, I was baiting him to turn around so Nordic could keep shooting at him. That was actually pretty cool. Sorry, I thought I had my knife out. Knife! Ah! Yeah, fuck that guy. I'm gonna suck his blood. Is that next roller?
Not really, but I mean...
You just love when you go for a walk and you just suck some blood. Jeez. I got this. When they start glowing red, that means you have propelled. There's different like abilities in the game, like magic kind of. In order to create a shield wall. You're welcome. No sucker behind. I'm using the Mark II sucker. Are you using the Mark I still? Oh, you upgraded? Hey, Roller, we're second blood.
Sounds vampiric.
Well, they shot at us first, so, I mean, only fair that we get to, is this guy still sitting over here oblivious that we did anything to his buddies?
Hold
That's
on,
nice.
don't touch.
I'm not, I ran away. I picked a class that lets me pull out a portable drone. Oh, jeez. Is that a sniper rifle?
Yeah. Takes heavy darts though.
Well, speaking of heavy darts, I just found some.
Yeah.
Here, hold on. Let me drop. Hold on, let me drop what I got. For you. Because it's client-based, what you get out of the boxes and stuff. And people. Oh, my game is on the ground. The game freaked out because it didn't know how to place the box. The game almost crashed on me. It was recalculating every frame. Well, maybe every frame and a half. Oh, more heavy darts. We'll drop them for you. Heavy darts here. I dropped some heavy darts on the floor for you over there, so you know.
Where?
Over here to the right. Suitcase. Roller bowler, so you having a good day, I hope.
Yeah, not bad.
Someone broke into my apartment. Yeah, nice. On elevated service. Ah, this fucker. The turret will finish him. Finish him. Poison shot. Complicated cervix. Sounds vampiric? Man, you don't even know the half of it. You gotta do this to survive, man.
Intel up here.
Okay, coming. I'm gonna drop some more darts for you. It's gonna be behind you. There's a big chest. A big belly chest with some more cervix in it. Cervix. Cervoc. Whatever it's called. There's another box in here with some more in it too. There's a box over here in the corner. And you got the big box over here too, right? I wasn't looking because I was checking my phone. There's some bikes here. Very damaged. So what's on the agenda today, Robert?
Well, not much. I was playing this with John earlier, and I saw he was online, so I thought I'd rejoin in case he felt like playing. And
Come on, my batteries.
he's AFK at the moment, so we'll see what happens.
Okay. I can't look at the game right now. I'm me asking what it was.
Oh, just Dying Light.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was up and I kept getting woken up. And then I finally started to get to go to sleep after like 5 or 6 p.m. So I feel like now my throat hurts, so getting sick. Actually, you know what? You think some cough drops would help with the stuff? I should probably take my vitamin. I need to start taking it. I need to start increasing my sodium intake. I don't know where my coffee is. We'll grab 2, we'll grab 4, we'll grab 6, 10. I should do it. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to cut this pill in half. Instead of doing 1/3, I'm going to do half today. See if that helps. Oh wait, I gotta shave down the corners of the work. Risk carrying my esophagus or anything. Ain't that right, Robert?
I guess.
Thanks. Thank you, Robert.
You're welcome. I don't think it's quite that easy to tear an esophagus, but hey.
I don't know. I've just heard stories. But a really pointy corner of a pill. I went down it. My throat hurt one time because I swallowed it while I was shaving down the corners. Scared the hell out of me. Doing this shit again. talking to the police about my apartment, and they're like, "Why didn't you lock your door?" I said, "I did. It's always locked. My door's the kind of door where it's always locked from inside." He's like, "Well, how did you get in?" And I showed them how they could have potentially got in. Door was closed. And I said, I called maintenance to fix it. And then I bought a door wedge and put it under my door. Isn't that nice?
Keep yourself safe.
Welcome. But please don't touch anything. If you damage anything, you'll pay for it. Also, if it explodes, that can be an inconvenience.
Did you jump up?
Yeah, I thought you were giving me a hint. Sat there by the platform, and I was like, oh, he wants me to jump off. I thought you were gonna go in. Sorry. There is a feature that I do like about, like, yeah, you have to drink water in this game, Roller, but you're not required to eat. You know? Like, I understand the appeal of survival games, you have to eat stuff, but I just end up finding that it's just too much about for my liking, usually. Unless the game lets you adjust that. Why is it such a mystery that the Freemen disappeared if they were slaughtered to extinction? was like the old lady says, hey, find out what happened to the Freeman. But should they already know? Oh wow, that's an impressive building that player has made. Impressive as dude. Is joining you, right, Robert?
I don't know. Again, last I saw, he was marked as dead. So say okay.
Yeah. He usually turns his computer off.
Yeah, might as well do planting the evidence.
It's possible that this guy is a bug person. Are these people or robots? This is weird.
Something in your body language. I am Sister Mesa. Nothing I'll elaborate on. Then perhaps you'll be I'm interested in...
He's got such a smooth voice, Sonic. Accepted contract. Open delivery box. Oh, this is where the falsified logs go, right? Sure, this is the best place to do it. Is this the quest where you gotta, like, expose the guy to get the good ending by giving it to his allies and not his enemies? No, it says falsified. That's not the same. Alright, I've deposited it, Nordic. I does deposit. The deposit. Hey, Rolla, did you guys have Chia commercials in Canada?
Do we have what commercials?
Chia, like Chia Pet. Like Chia.
Yeah, we used to here.
You know what's funny? I don't know how many years, maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, I actually saw one of them pop up again on somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Did you ever find it fascinating? How you sow your seeds into a creature and watch it take fester. I'm just kidding. I thought it looked just kind of neat to like grow plants. And I like animals, so. He said try it. RP. Who does? Never mind. was about to be silly and say, who doesn't like Jar Jar Binks? Some things are better left unsaid. Right, Roller?
Pardon?
Oh, I was gonna be silly and say, who doesn't like Jar Jar Binks? And I said, never mind, I interrupted myself. And then I'm like, some things are better left unsaid.
Yeah, well... Yeah.
Grabbing water.
But this is the right spot. The thing's not popping up. This might be the final trial.
Now, just so you know, for disclosure, I don't have
Job
any particular...
House car.
I don't have any beef with Jar Jar Binks, but I understand the arguments. But I also know that he was supposed to play a bigger role in the scheme because of what we talked about before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait a minute, this is not the right one. This is the last one. This is the last one.
If you wanted to have an opportunity to talk about Star Wars, I'd listen. I'm coming with you, North.
I mean, different strokes, different folks. I, for one, didn't like a lot of what they did with the prequels. That said, they usually did a lot of even more stupid stuff with the sequels, so... The prequels aren't as bad for me as they
Wait,
used
there's
to
a
be.
sequels? No, I'm just kidding. As far as I'm concerned, they don't exist, honestly. But yeah, I know. Yeah, the prequels... I think there was too much focus on, like, fan service. Like, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with trying to please your fans, but after so many rewrites based off of feedback, and I heard that the creator does best when he's butting heads with somebody, you know, not like butting heads like fighting, bouncing his ideas off of somebody and then telling you whether or not they think it's a good idea or not. And he didn't have that for the prequels, and based off of what I've heard and seen, he was supposedly surrounded by a bunch of yes men. And that's part of why he had such a creative, like, slump when it came to it, supposedly. I can kind of, I kind of understand a bit more about what was going on and all that. And, I mean, you can't fault the guy per se. He was just trying to make his fans happy. Because a lot of the changes he did based off of fan feedback between all the episodes and test screenings and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't done any kind of research like that, but I will say that I did hear that for the original movies, he got some feedback from his wife who helped clean up the scripts.
Yeah, his wife and another colleague of his. And they supposedly in the original trilogy of the first episode 4, they did a test screening and everybody didn't really like it too much. So supposedly it was saved in the editing room. From what I heard, the original test screening, you'd start off and you see Luke walking around on Tatooine, and you get to meet his cousin and stuff. And then it cuts to the space battle, and it cuts back to Luke talking to his cousin about something. Cuts space battle. Cuts to Luke looking at binoculars. That says space battle. And then it cuts to Vader, and then it, you know, and so they cut out his cousin, because you know that scene in the Star Wars where that fighter blows up. I forgot what the guy's name was, but Luke looked devastated for a minute. I think it was the trench runner.
Yes, big.
Yeah, that was his family member that got cut out in the edit. That just died.
Okay, I was under the impression that was supposed to be his best friend.
It was his cousin, his relative. I didn't know that either, but you know. But yeah, it was his family member that just died. So they were probably friends and family.
So a little haha. You know when he has this line about the swamp rats in his T-16, just change the T-16 to a truck model of Ford F-150 and swamp rats and swamp rats. Southern boy.
It's from the sticks.
You know, we're just shooting them swamp rats. My poor default.
Yeah, kind of like how Goku and Chi-Chi are very much country folk and part as far as Asians go. That's actually been a point of contested about why there's so many misunderstandings. They're just different, y'all.
Assuming that you're talking about Dragon Ball, Goku is just a crazy, like, idiot. I mean, there's no way around that.
I'm referring to like later in Dragon Ball, it starts coming up more prominently when they get older. Right before the Dragon Ball ends and Dragon Ball Z starts. Sometime before that, they start bringing up like the differences more often that him and Chi-Chi are country folk that are kind of ignorant and talk so different. You know what I mean? At least from what I've seen. I could be wrong, but I thought that was an interesting thing. I mean, we all know Goku was different. That was kind of the point. He was a fish out of water, so to speak. But that's fine.
Have you ever listened to the subtitles of them?
I don't remember. It's been a while since I looked at all that.
Like I mean, the original audio.
He
sounds like. He sounds like a complete screwball.
Mm-hmm.
He's just completely different mentally than pretty much anyone else in that series.
It's true. He's so goofy, and he's just like, okay, blast him. Or not blast him, but punches the wall or whatever. I forgot what it was that happened, but yeah, it's comedy. I mean, why do you think Bulma, when she first met him, was like, yeah, I can manipulate this person?
Well, Bulma tends to think that about every situation.
I know. I mean, yeah. But especially with him, because it's like he's so naive and ignorant. And then you get like a little Journey in the West thing going, you know? I find it fascinating. But I know that I'm not all knowledgeable. I've heard some good opinions, and I've heard some opinions which I was immediately like, I don't think that sounds right. Because I can immediately think of like 3 examples of why that but I understand why some people feel that way. Unfortunately, we also live in an era where parody series have kind of taken over how we see the official series, you know? Like Team 4-Star. Some of the stuff that I forgot about is they replaced it with that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's understandable.
It's a completely different kind of humor. It does get series that are correct, but I mean, overall, as you said, it's a parody.
Yeah. But yeah, these are just some things that I see permeating some discussions. Like, I saw a really interesting video, not a video, I saw a really interesting take on, you know, remember how there were a while, like years ago, they were bringing up the Superman versus Goku thing?
Mm-hmm.
I heard somebody's take on it I thought it was pretty good. He said in reality, I think what would actually happen if Superman fought Goku is that they'd become friends and just chill. I mean, that's less words than what he actually said, but, you know, I believe it.
Depends on which Superman, unfortunately.
Regular Superman.
There's all kinds of different writing for Superman. Like
the hero Superman, not the depressing or murderous one. How about that? the Superman that is the usual normal Superman. not the Zack Snyder one. That's, I mean, even the Zack Snyder one would probably be somewhat reasonable too. But the point still stands, you know.
Yeah.
But just the heroic one that is usually associated with him.
Well, see, the thing is, Goku sometimes doesn't really think his plans through very well. Like,
That's true.
I can't remember precisely, but wasn't he the one who destroyed the moon?
Yoshi, Master Roshi, and Piccolo.
No, okay.
I don't remember if Goku did, but I know Master Roshi and Piccolo did.
But with the kind of damage that Goku throws around, I can see Superman feeling like he needs to stop him. If Goku was fighting someone else, for example.
You would have to set up a situation where there was a misunderstanding for it to be possible for them to fight at all. Because Goku would definitely, even though Goku loves to fight, he would talk. You know, that's how he was raised, you know? He wouldn't just...
Now, depending on where Goku is on the power level scale, I think Supes would probably win the first battle, and then for the rematch, it would be Goku every time because of how Saiyans work.
Yeah, they said that Goku would win from destroying the sun.
Well, no, it doesn't even need to do that. It just the
I thought it was
BS
stupid.
of Saiyans getting stronger. The stronger the enemies they fight means he will win.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah. The thing about the thing is though about those particular people that are talking about Goku versus Superman, they usually have a lot of bad takes and leave out. They conveniently leave out conflicting information that would counteract what they try to say. Kind of like how game theory does, but like a little different. So I don't really, you know, I'm like, you know what I mean? But even so, I don't see Goku actually doing that. Why would he blow up the Earth? Like, really?
He would not intentionally blow up an inhabited world, I don't think.
Yeah, he wouldn't. I find it way more believable that him and Superman would eventually come to terms that there was some sort of misunderstanding or something, and then just end up chilling, you know? And Goku would be like, wow, that's great, let's do it again sometime or some shit, you know? I can totally see that. That feels way more like the situation I would see between the two of them. Because Clark Kent doesn't go full ass to mouth either, you know? You know? He would also try to see what he could, you know, usually. Yeah. I'm not an expert on Superman. But from what I've seen...
I'm aware of where Superman intentionally unleashes his "I will kill you" thing is when it comes to Darkseid after he gets mind controlled. He has no patience for Darkseid or any of the people on there. He will kill them.
Yeah, well, that's understandable. That's like a universal threat kind of deal, isn't it? Is that what they call that?
It definitely is a big threat, but more importantly, it's personal with him. Because Darkseid mind controlled him to actually kill people on Earth, and so he just does not want to have a chance of that ever happening again.
Well, yeah, then it's justified.
Yeah.
I mean, Superman can destroy the Earth by himself.
Like in the DC animated universe, he regrettably ended up killing Doomsday the first time because he could not stop him any other way.
Right. I ever heard that in the comics of like the actual Superman, he gets so powerful that he could just throw planets and shit. Superman does.
It greatly depends on the writing.
Well, I mean,
comic book stuff.
That's true, but I'm referring like to the original, and then building up, and then they just kind of it gets to that point fairly often. Is what I've heard. I'm not a comic. I don't know much about comics, and I know that there's a lot of different variations and alternate stories and stuff. But yeah, supposedly Superman gets so powerful that they have to like soft reset him and stuff, or other stuff, you know. Or sometimes they change up what he's capable of in the story because he's just so powerful. Or he could get so powerful if they let it go on too much without limitations. Supposedly. I don't remember who they interviewed about it, but it was some dude that was involved in it or something. I don't really remember.
They have his signature abilities and power level fairly well mapped out. Unless there's some kind of exception which is boosting him beyond that. Now, that being said, his normal power levels are higher than basically anyone else on Earth, with very few exceptions.
Right. Do you remember that Justice League episode where it's like an alternate Earth where the Justice League just kind of go crazy with power because Hawkgirl dies or whatever, and Superman starts lobotomizing all the villains? And then they have this scene where what's that guy, Doomsday? The anti him? It's Doomsday, right?
Bizarro?
No, not the copy, but like the big monster thing that's made out of Krypton or some shit. That's Doomsday, right? The one that kills him in like a couple of the editions.
Yeah. Yes.
He during that episode, because it's like I think it was a two-parter episode. Doomsday shows up and he just immediately lobotomizes him, like without even hesitating.
Yeah.
And like they go to an asylum, and see what happens is the Justice League gets pulled over to an alternate reality dimension where Hawkgirl dies, and Justice League just seizes power and control over the world. They become the world order basically, and there's like an asylum with like Joker and Ivy and all of them just lobotomized, you know. You got like that. You can see it like on them that they were lobotomized, because there's like two little. He does it with his laser beam eyes, and there's like two little beams like up on their forehead. You know, two little circles. I think Nordic, you still AFK?
But
and I always thought it was interesting because they all end up fighting each other eventually. Because Batman fights Batman, which is a really, really good. I think it's a really good Batman scene, because Batman argues with Batman about the dichotomy of his decision making in life. You know. And funnily enough, that particular Batman, which is usually the most strong-willed out of all of them, actually ends up succumbing to the situation. But yeah. So basically, Batman in the alternate world takes Batman around on a Batman car ride, and Batman sees the original Batman and sees the alternate Batman's world and sees how people are oppressed, and like people are taken to jail for just complaining about a ticket price for ordering coffee. And he's like, "Is this the world that our parents wanted?" You know, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So he ends up locking them up, and Flash is like, "I got an idea," and the Flash starts shaking himself so much that he stops his heart rate for like a second, scaring the shit out of alternate world Batman. Alternate world Batman goes to let him out, and well, you could put two and two together about how that works out for him. Yeah. He doesn't knock him out or kill him, but it does start the confrontation between the two Batmans after that. Because the Flash goes to take care of the other stuff going on, while Batman stays behind to counter the other Batman. And they eventually come through, and I think it's a really. If you ever get the chance, I recommend you look it up. It's really good.
I watched them.
I didn't really watch them when they were coming out. I saw like a little bit of it, but then I just went to bed. You know.
Yes, it wasn't Hawkgirl that was dead. It was Flash.
I thought it was. Yeah, you're right. It was. I remember now.
Because that episode pushes the idea that the Flash was the heart of the original Justice League.
Up to that point, I can kind of understand where they're coming from, but they, then again, they lost somebody important to them. So either way, it definitely affected their hearts, regardless if he was the center or not.
Well, there's a Justice League Unlimited episode. That's the series that followed this same universe, where it's Flash Day, and he invites.
I'm just gonna go
Batman.
do this, Nordic. I'll meet up with you when I'm done running this trial. Anyways, go ahead.
Just give me a minute now.
Yeah, Justice League Unlimited. I did hear that
Just
part.
a minute. I need to go to Viet City.
Okay.
Viet City, Viet City. There it is.
Ah.
There was a League of Justice League or an episode of Justice League Unlimited that's about them having Flash Day, and Flash invites Batman and Orion to it. Anyway, long story short, you get to see exactly how Flash treats his enemies, and he does it so well. Like, he really, really cares. He wants them to give up crime and be good, and that's all he wants.
I've heard about that episode. He brings them like one of them like flowers and stuff, and he goes and visits them.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something that you don't see from any of the other heroes from the 7.
Except Batman, potentially. Batman gets close to that, but in a different way.
Once in a while, Batman, if somebody has a chance of recovering, will do, like, of getting out of it, he will do that. But he's much more likely to, rather than show up with flowers, he's more likely to, as Bruce Wayne, give them an avenue that they could start getting their life together. If he stays as Batman, he's more likely to show up and threaten them into behaving.
Yeah. But there are a lot of scenes where Batman shows how much heart and care he has for things. Like,
Yeah,
even
but not
for the
usually to
villains.
the villain, because he's more interested in making sure the villains fear Batman.
That's true, but he does do things for some of the villains too. That's why I was saying not quite the same, but he does do some things.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people say that they like Batman, because he does that too, to some degree.
The Sardaukar destruction extends even to these small shrines. I cannot decipher their purpose, but the altar seems to have contained a quantity of spice.
You know,
And
there's
the
a couple
murals.
of touching scenes with Batman.
Such beauty to be destroyed by the cut of a
Because he
lasgun
legitimately
or
wants to
blade.
believe that they can.
All I could decipher from here is another step on the journey of the
But yeah,
Zensuni
that was a really good
wanderers.
episode I heard about that. I heard somebody talking about it.
Perhaps there's some
I
link
was doing
between
some
the
work and I was
Zensuni and the
listening in the
Fremen.
background about somebody talking about all the different series, you know? And I remember them mentioning that episode, and I thought it was really cool. I mean, they talked about it, they didn't just mention it, but you know what I mean?
Yep.
So yeah, that's interesting. I agree with you. That is really cool. What else happened?
What do you mean? In that particular episode?
Yeah.
Oh, some of his rogues gallery. That's
I see someone.
That's what they call the ones who are foes nemesis.
Eyes on target.
Try and wreck the Flash Day and the opening of the Flash Museum. It's more or less, I remember correctly. And at the end of the episode, Orion's like, wow, this was such a terrible day. Great day. Nobody died.
Grenade!
That's interesting. I heard that people talk about the Flash being potentially the most overpowered next to Superman.
Well, I
Because
mean,
any altercation you could end is for sex.
well, not time travel. Superman has it like once, and then they never write him with it again because it was stupid. Flash has it, period, as part of his background.
I heard that they started being very careful how they write Superman, because Superman can just destroy everything, apparently. So they start adding more and more restrictions on him, depending on which series and stuff. or they you know get affect him in other ways. Like this is one of the things that sets some of the old storytelling apart. Is like instead of limiting him just on physical means, there's other means too, like emotional. You know, there's emotional things that can restrict a character.
Yeah. Well, to me, the most important and interesting part of Superman is not Superman at all. It's Clark Kent.
Yeah. Glasses.
Well, no, it's just his you know, he has to try and hide what he's capable of doing. He usually, not always because of bad writing, but usually he's almost an idiot. Like he pushes himself off as a clumsy clown. In the fact that no one can really take him seriously. Like, even if someone noticed the appearances between the two, they can't be like, no, Clark Kent is such a screwball. He can't possibly be Superman, who has no sense of humor.
Right. Yeah, I think I've heard about that.
I mean, one of the best ones that encapsulates it is, there's one called, animated movie. It's not part of the Timverse, but, one called Sunshine Superman. And in that particular one, it's got the really clumsy Clark Kent. He falls down, like, if someone accidentally drops something from a bridge, it's gonna fall on someone's hand. He trips and knocks them over. And
Right.
so, by miracle, this person doesn't get hit. And the person doesn't really notice that it almost hit them, so they get mad at Clark Kent.
Yeah, kind of like the claims about Jar Jar's drunken fist thing.
Yeah.
Which apparently is probably true in hindsight. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. That's also very clever, I think.
Well,
Also
to me,
funny.
that's what makes it interesting. And
I would agree with you.
most of the time they do Superman, they're more obsessed with doing Superman and not really having anything other than just a high-powered individual who sometimes has emotional issues.
Yeah, yeah. Nordic, are you okay? Oh, Nordic? Send him a message. He's kind of my ride out of here, so I kind of need to make sure he's okay. Because there ain't no way I'm driving all that way that he just took me flying. Ain't no way. I'd be out of fuel. And lost. Yeah. Funny thing is it's because of my dad that I know anything that I know Batman exists. Well, you know what I mean. In Star Trek computers. My dad really enjoyed the animated series. For good reason, obviously. And you know, they used to do those little silly skits with like the Batman characters. Well, maybe they didn't have that where you were. You know the WB TV channel? Did you have that?
No. I watched most of those more recently on streaming.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there was a lot of different little skits that they set up with like custom writing for the characters. And it would be like cross, like, because like the TV network would have different shows like Pokemon and stuff, and they would do like crossovers, like where it shows old Batman from Batman Beyond trying to put like young Terry to sleep or somebody, or I forgot who it was. And he's like, I can't sleep. Could you give me a story? And he eventually just gives up and starts trying to sing the Jigglypuff theme to put him to sleep. He's like, Jigglypuff. You can look it up. But my dad thought that was hilarious. But it should be on YouTube somewhere unless they took it down. I looked it up about a few years ago to see if it was still, if there was a way to find it to try to show somebody. Because they didn't believe me.
Well, if I had to guess, that was something that the studio would have had copyrights to.
Don't know. It was like a commercial thing, like in between for the network. So it's so old. It's so old that it's hard to say. But yeah. But yeah, and just a lot of different stuff like that, you know. Like there's this part where the Ash was trying to throw a Pokemon ball, and I don't remember what he got. I think Batman was like there or something. I don't remember what happened. But there's just a lot of different funny, weird crossovers and stuff. So you know the guy that voices Batman from the animated series? I think it wasn't Conroy, was it?
Yes, Kevin Conroy.
Okay, so I had it right. I was second guessing myself because sometimes I get that mixed up. So they got him to play a live action version of Batman briefly before he died.
I wasn't aware of this.
I wasn't either, but I found out somewhat recently, about half a year ago. And I was trying to tell my dad about it because I knew he'd love to hear that. So it was like a Supergirl thing that they did, you know? And so they ended up in like an alternate Earth where Batman basically killed everybody. And Kevin Conroy himself plays that Batman, and he's got like, he can barely walk, so he has like an exoskeleton thing keeping him going and shit. And then you find out that what happened, you know? And it's really interesting.
Oh, okay. Atypically, if Batman is crippled, it's because of Bane. But if Superman wrecked the world, that's probably not the story they went with.
I don't really remember. I saw it, I looked it up, saw it, and then I was trying to tell my dad, and I only remember a couple of key points about it. Like they even have like they even made like a bat cave just for that episode, because she goes up to like Wayne, you know, she's like, I'm here to see Bruce, you know, and all this other stuff. And there's even like a bat cave with like a bunch of it's surprisingly it's surprisingly, what's the term whenever they're intending to do a homage and it's actually like decent? Homaginal?
I know what you're saying anyway. I don't know what the term would be.
Probably don't exist. Or, I mean, in the way that I was trying to use it. It's probably a completely different term. But yes, they did. It's like a homage, and it's like, I was surprised because I never watched any of the new stuff. I love the animated series to death. And I immediately recognized, like, oh, that looks like... And they even have, like, the big-ass fucking coin in there, too. It was crazy. And I never seen anything like that. Because, like, I've seen some of the more... You know, I've seen the Bruce Nolan one. I haven't seen Jack Snyder, but I know it happens enough to know to where I won't like it. I've never seen any of the other series or anything, so I don't really know for sure. But to me, somebody who was making that really paid attention, I think, certain details. So, if you ever get the chance, it's a short that you could find a short clip of it. And Kevin Conroy is pretty good at it. Like, his acting and everything. I thought he did a pretty good job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was impressed. Like, I was like, what, really? He did that? And I'm like, I'm not going to expect anything, but I'll take a look into it. Because it was, like, recommended as somebody that appreciates different media and stuff. And I was like, okay. Looked into it, and I was like, holy crap. The Supergirl thing is probably shit, but this is good. This is decent, at the least. You know? But I didn't, like, dive deep into it, because I honestly don't give a shit. But, yeah, it made me feel good, you know? And I had to tell my dad about it. You know that Flash movie where they got you know, the Batman movie guy to come back as Batman. The really stupid Flash movie.
I know you're talking about Flashpoint Paradox, the live action version.
Yeah, my dad went to see that movie just because he said this is the last time we're gonna get to see this guy be Batman. And to be honest, from what I've been told and seen, it looked like he worked out okay, but it was obviously I haven't seen the movie, but my impression is that it wasn't that good.
Well, I wasn't a big fan of that actor who played the Flash in the first place, and then that movie is all about him. So I was not expecting much to begin with.
I heard that Batman basically steals every scene that he's in.
Meh.
Don't know how true it is, but I heard that he does a pretty good job. And apparently he was ready and willing. They didn't have to like convince him. He was more than happy and willing to take up the role of Batman again.
Yes.
Like as if he's been waiting.
Although, spoiler, it's not.
You can
Bruce
spoil
Wayne.
me. I'm not planning on ever watching that movie.
It's not Bruce Wayne.
Is it like his son?
No,
Or his dad?
it's Thomas Wayne, his dad.
Oh, okay.
That's how it always is in the Flashpoint Paradox. Instead of the dad and his wife getting killed, it's the mom and Bruce getting killed.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard about some of those stories. I've also heard about the Batman Beyond stories where his dad comes. Heard about him, but you know, haven't partaked. I'd rather hear somebody like go over it like an audiobook or describe it. That's far more interesting to me. Like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind reading it, but I haven't been in the mood for reading at all. I got burned out on reading for a while now. Even with manga, I'm just like sporadic at best. That's probably because I worked a job where that's all I did all day, every day, working overtime. I would come home and my eyes would hurt trying to read. Like, if I try to play an RPG where it has no voice acting, I couldn't hardly play it because it would hurt my eyes trying to read. I got so burned out on reading that I'm just like, I can't even bother picking up a book. So I'm gonna start trying to look into like audiobooks and stuff like that, or people, you know, reading things. But I do find it interesting listening to you discuss these things, you know? I really do like it. I remember whenever I was a kid, my dad and my sister were watching, and Justice League came on, and it was this episode about an alternate World War II where like some villain goes back in time and makes these massive like machines and then creates a dystopian future controlled by like Nazis or something.
Yes, you're talking about Vandal Savage.
I thought that was really interesting because of the large scale of like things going on that they shown, drew me in. I was like, what the fuck? But I never really got to see how it turned out. Now, I did find a video about someone talking about it, but then I kind of forgot what he said happened, so.
Yeah, it's really not that interesting of a storyline. I mean, someone uses time travel to alter the past. I mean, it's... Yeah.
Yeah. It's more about the method and the means that's interesting, or could be interesting. It's like, yeah, time travel, okay. When you put it that way, it's like, ugh.
Well, the thing that makes it even less interesting to me is who they had do it. Again, they had Vandal Savage do it. The man who time doesn't mean anything to.
Why would he do that?
I don't know.
I think that's the point, right?
Yeah. Like, Vandal Savage is the first human. He does not die of old age. He's been around since caveman era. Why would time travel be necessary for him? Take over.
I don't know. He wasn't even caught in any scheme or anything?
Well, he's a bad guy. He's always trying to get more power. It's just, I don't feel like he would need that time travel as the stick to do it. Don't get me wrong, there's lots of DC villains who I could see pulling a time travel thing. I just don't see Vandal Savage as being one of them.
Right. I see your point. Well,
He has,
in my opinion, your point's pretty obvious. It's
he has a massive ego. Needing time travel to win would be a loss from my perspective for him.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's like how DC Animated decided that the Clock King, which is a Batman villain, suddenly needed access to time travel for him to do his shtick, which is totally kills the concept of the character. When he was first introduced in the Batman animated series, he was a problem for Batman to defeat because he was so specific on timetables that Batman never had the opportunity to catch him.
Right.
It's like, for example, okay, Batman shows up. Oh, look, there's suddenly a fire that Batman needs to run off and go save someone over there. Clock King gets away. That was his whole stick.
Yeah,
And then they eventually gave him a time-traveling time watch for some reason. And he's not technological at all. He just suddenly has this timepiece. Like, what?
I don't know. Maybe somebody got excited and thought it'd be interesting. Though, to be fair, there are some things that get introduced and dropped. For example, Lex Luthor's assistant. That was supposed to, that was important, but later on. I mean, there are some good scenes with Lex Luthor and her and stuff like that. The building and displaying their characters and their relationship and how it changes, dichotomy, etc., etc. But I think she was supposed to be a bit more prominent, but they dialed it back because they just weren't feeling it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure like that.
I'm not sure what their intention with Marcy was.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought Marcy was interesting personally.
I didn't have an opinion for or against her. She existed as a character.
Right. I know that feeling. That's kind of where I am on some things. Kind of with that too, but at the same time, I thought it was interesting because if I remember right, they set her up as like she has a reason to actually care about him, a personal reason. He did something, and that makes it interesting than just blind whatever. I'm not comparing her to any other character when I say that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just speaking like directly in terms of what I see. And I might be remembering wrong, but that's how I remember it. Like, she has a reason to why she's so devoted to him and trying to be there for him and stuff and feelings. And there's a couple, if I remember right, there's a couple of episodes where you get to see the comparison of her dichotomy with Lex versus other people's dichotomies. Like, 'cause she'll do what she can to prioritize him, his well-being, and then some of the others don't. And I don't think he gave a shit either, or maybe he realized he did after. I don't really remember. I found out about it a while back. Nordic, are you back? I'm gonna send him a message.
No, if I remember, it's a one-sided relationship for the most part. Yes, she's loyal, but that he expects her to be, and
Right, because she's subordinate.
And she finally does have enough with him at one point, but I mean, for the most part, she's not very well developed. She's just henchman A for him for most of the series.
It does seem to be the case. That's what
They gave her
impression I
a bit of
got.
a personality, but again, not much story development. I mean, Harley they gave a lot more to, and she's also from the Batman animated series.
Right, yeah. That's where they started her.
Yeah.
I didn't know that at first. Whenever I was a kid, I thought that how it always was.
No.
But I didn't really have TV much growing up as a kid. My sister had a TV, but I didn't. My dad would come visit. He'd turn on the TV in her room. That was the only little bit of until I later got TV. I was going through a major depression as a kid, so it wasn't helping doing me any favors. It did introduce me to Totally Spies, though.
I never watched that.
I'm sure you've heard about it, though.
I know that there's 3 girls. Beyond that, I really don't.
Oh, okay, so you didn't hear about the other stuff. Well, I could tell you if you want to know.
Pardon?
I could tell you some of the things that's been said about the series.
If you want. It's not one I'm probably ever going to watch.
Yeah, I don't. It is what it is, you know. So the concept is they're kind of like James Bond, Charlie's Angels. It's actually an interesting, fun little series, you know. They get gadgets and try to do stuff while trying to maintain a teenager-esque life, which is probably like 18. Because they do not look like they're in early high school for sure. They look like they're adults. So, you know, they got to navigate drama and all that while also like saving the world. And, you know, there's actually some interesting stuff there. However, since they are drawn, they're not your typical cartoon where, you know, it's more like Batman where there's more realistic features. And, well, some people label it as their awakening to sexuality, put it like that, and various fetishes because of some of the situations the girls find themselves in. Like, there's this one where they become a giant to fight another giant, and then there's another which is like toward the end of the series. Got kind of wild. I hear. I don't really. I didn't keep up with any of it at the time it was going on. I'm hearing about most of these posts. There's a part whenever one of them gets turned into like this furry, kind of, and then there's like an episode where one of them gets like hit with like an expendo ray where they kind of like inflate. So some people don't know how true it is, but some people say that some fetishes were introduced to them from watching that as a kid. Probably, you know what I mean. Older than at least 12 years old. And to be honest with you, I thought they were pretty hot too. But yeah, but that, you know, they're detailed like in Batman. You know, some of the characters in Batman I found attractive too. You know, that can happen anywhere. You know, anything when you know anything mildly attention, you know, your attention can be drawn anywhere at any time. So I'm not one of those people that are like you have to ban everything because it might potentially be kinky. You know, I think that's retarded. I think it's a detriment to society. Get that way. Like it's one thing to teach, which is how it should be done, but it's another thing to just neuter development. Anyways, now that we got my opinion of that aside, but yeah, so Totally Spies was actually apparently an actually interesting show. It has some good jokes. They got like this butler guy that's like part of like this MI6 kind of thing, you know, and they get these gadgets and stuff, and you know, they rotate gadgets too. Like some episodes they'll have like completely new gadgets depending on the situation they're trying to deal with. I don't recommend you go and look at it. Might be a passing fancy, but it did have something interesting with it. Like a lot of, but then again, a lot of cartoons at that time did, you know. And you know it's up there with it. But the style that they go for Totally Spies is actually really interesting. It's like this combination. It's almost like kind of like what they did with Avatar a little bit, where they have more realistic, thinner lines, kind of like in it, you know. So yeah, and stuff. By the way, I did watch Avatar: The Last Airbender a few years ago, and I thought it was good.
I watched it quite a few years ago. I thought it was okay. My friend Mike Johnson absolutely loves it.
I never saw it as a kid. I saw other people watching it, but I wouldn't pay attention to it. But then I went back and watched it a few years ago when I was in Florida, and I was like, wow, very good. And then Uncle Iroh is my favorite. Can't help but love that dude. Everything's going to hell, and he's like, hey, you want some tea? You know? Iroh is very wise, though. Like, some of the things he talks about is very true. Like, it can make you get emotional. And he actually lives on a philosophy. It's not like just some random dude that spouts random fortune cookie lines. You know what I mean? He legitimately lives by a philosophy. And honestly, I kind of want to be more like him. I want to be more like Uncle Iroh. Because I didn't have an Uncle Iroh there for me most of my life while I was dealing with all the stuff. You know? Everyone needs to have some Uncle Iroh in their life at one point or another. Nordic's just been gone for a while. Nordic, please. I'm bored. Well, I'm not that bored. I'm having fun talking to Roller. But I want to get out of here. I can't. I'm not gonna drive all the way across the freaking map.
Guess maybe next time you need to come in 2 different vehicles.
Yeah, he flew us in that airplane thing, but it's the only one we got. So I just stood on top of it while he flew it, because there wasn't another seat. Which is funny because in the intro, the ornithopter is what they're called, I think. The ornithopter, in the intro, one of the first things you see in the game is your character standing behind somebody as a passenger while they fly it. Meanwhile, you can't even actually do it. It's like, come on, man. I don't get too nitpicky, but still. It'd be nice to... Because there's like different mechanics in the game that you don't want to be outside because you'll get overheat and then you'll get thirstier stuff because it's like super planet, you know? It's a big ass desert planet with super sun, you know. You have to run around in the shadows during the day, try to keep your temperature regulated. Which I'm not saying is a bad thing. I'm just saying that's just how it is. Well, imagine standing on top of a helicopter thingy plane, right, full exposure to the sun. I cut through several bars of water. Well, on the bright side, at least we're in a place where it doesn't drain our water. You get a state called water seal, which is like completely sealed in areas that you can either create or come across, and you won't drain your water being in these areas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then there's the death sandstorm that comes through, and you can like hide under like things. As long as it says that you're at the minimum sheltered, you'll be safe from the sandstorm. You could like sit under rocks and stuff. It's surprisingly detailed on some things, and some others it's a bit jank, but that's kind of par for the course of the developer.
I don't know much about Dune at all. I watched the first of the remake, and I can't even remember much about that. I mean, Dune has just never been in something that grabbed my attention.
Honestly, the only hint that I had that it even existed was an old MS-DOS game I had a demo of, and I thought it was a typo for Doom. You know,
okay.
Doom?
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine my confusion.
Yeah.
Because, like, my dad and my uncle would have, like, all these different floppy disks and all these different files and folders of different demos and other games that they've backed up onto CD, etc. from the old, you know. And I would just go through it so time to time. I was never, but yeah. But I didn't even know it was like its own thing. I just thought it was just some random thing. It wasn't until a little while later when somebody brought it up that I had an inkling that it was actually some form of series. But even then, I didn't really know anything. So, yeah, I'm as far away from being aware of its existence until recently. When they had the movies come out, and then some of the other stuff, like the past few, I don't know, maybe like 5 years is where I've started learning a little bit, but I still don't know anything. All I know, from what I've gathered and learned, there's a big space worm, and they fight over the desert for the purple stuff.
Spice must flow.
Yeah.
I know, and I don't really know much more about it besides it's some kind of drug.
And then they have a las gun, and then they have an Imperium, and then these massive mega ships that dwarf fucking moons. Well, never mind. I don't think it dwarfs a moon, but it's so massive that you're like a speck when you're next to it, you know? Speck of dust. And yeah, and there's all these weird things and powers, and they have like a shield system. If you're fighting someone with a knife, you have to like move the knife like really slow to like penetrate their shield, or it'll reject it, you know?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, apparently that's a thing. I thought it might have been just from the movie, but I'm assuming that it wasn't because the way Nordic referenced it.
Well, apparently also, if you hit a shield at the right angle with an energy weapon, it can reflect back into your weapon and cause an humongous explosion or something. One of my friends were telling me about it.
Interesting. But apparently the spice can be used as fuel and a bunch of other stuff. It's basically like a magic resource, from what I've gathered. So what do you think about that game, Death Stranding?
I mean, I watched a playthrough of it. The graphics are gorgeous, but the gameplay looks extremely repetitive. I feel like I might have it on Epic.
Yeah. I think I got it for free somewhere. Maybe? I probably didn't bother redeeming the code. So there's something you'd be into?
Pardon?
Do you think it's something that you'd be into?
I don't think it's multiplayer.
No, I was just wondering what you thought about it and stuff.
No, there are other games that are solo that I would play over that.
Yeah. I mean, I can see why people would be disinterested in it when playing it. And I heard like some interesting things about the community features where people build roads and then it comes into other people's games. But yeah, I can see that. But I think a lot of people were too harsh on it than it deserved.
I mean, again, I'm not criticizing it. Like I said, the graphics are beautiful. Just
I know.
the fact that it's unless they've updated it and thrown something else in, the fact that the whole game is postal worker delivery with the side of combat, it's, well, if that's what you want, go for it. But
I
to
agree.
me, that looks way too repetitive.
I also agree. Well, but when it came out, did you see some of the stuff people were doing about it? They were freaking out like it was the end of the world.
No, I don't watch a lot of reviews.
Well, it was hard not to, because people were bringing it up constantly, even when playing other games. I just think they were a little too harsh on it, because it's a game that fills that particular niche, you know. I think it does what it does, you know. It's not may not be my thing, but it's not the it's not gonna destroy your life for looking at it. I mean, weren't they were pretty clear about what kind of game they were making before it came out. I'm pretty sure. You know, once the gameplay stuff started coming out. I think.
Maybe. Again, I have no idea. I haven't looked at any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I hear that the backlash got so bad that the creator was like, "Get over yourselves," which is a Japanese man, you know. But you know, it probably took a lot for him to get to that point, you know. I guess.